What is that noise? Oh my God. It is that time once again. The greatest time of the week, the best time, the day you've been waiting for, that time you've been waiting for all of my tech shit to collapse and crash. Let's see if this works. Grab your hats, grab your butts, grab whatever it is that you can reach with your hands. Get your cocktails ready. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because it is time for a word from our sponsors.
Is your bar looking a little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, it is I, the Old Humble Guy. We're back. We are back with yet another installment of our trivia night, happy hour trivia night, or whatever you want to call it. That's what we're going to do. It's what we're doing tonight. How do you get away with that, Old Humble Guy? How do you get away with doing trivia nights every single week? Well, you know what? I just do because I'm awesome and it's great and that's how we roll. That's how we do things here at the Old Humble Distilling Company. I decide we're going to do a thing and we do a thing. Boom. Joined. Cheers. Welcome back, Tuna Emperor. Thank you for joining us this week for the trivia show. My glass is empty. I'm going to have to address that in a minute. I've got some other stuff I need to address real fast. We're going to get this all taken care of. First things first, welcome to the show. I am the Old Humble Guy. Lisa is coming up in just a minute. She sent me a text. She is occupied right now with, there's that. That's what I was trying to stretch out. Get that adjusted. I was trying to fix these screens. The various screens that I have here on the show. Trying to get everything adjusted and I had done it earlier and then I had fiddled around with it and it was no longer correct. But now it's correct again. We're good. I'm good. Everything's good. We're good. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, that's nice. I like the outline. I like the border. Yes, Tuna, it's time for more looking up answers at 10 o'clock. At the top of the hour, we're going to do some more looking up answers where y'all can look up answers for various questions that I ask questions to. And you know, hey, I can't stop y'all from championing. I'll request the honor system. Maybe I should just lower the prize amounts. It doesn't matter. It really, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't fucking matter. Next week we will be doing trivia from the distillery. We are teaming up with some pub trivia guys, with the guys from Pub Trivia. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We will be teaming up with the guys from Pub Trivia. Tonight's show is brought to you in part by the Old Humble Distilling Company's Double Oak Rye. Double Oak Straight Rye, Old Humble Distilling Company's Double Oak Straight Rye. It won't make you pretty, but it will make you think other people are. No, that's not a good tag. It won't make you pretty, but it'll make you think you're funny. Maybe that's a good one. Maybe it'll make you think you're pretty. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll work on that. I'll workshop it. We'll work on it. But yeah, next week we'll be doing trivia live from the distillery with pub trivia. We'll be asking the questions from the distillery. People on site will be competing with people online. Correct answers, of course, only will get prizes. Not sure how we'll do it with people online and people in the distillery, because people in the distillery have to write their questions down and then turn their answers in at the end of the thing, while people online will be able to submit their answers. Hadn't thought about that. We'll work that out over the course of the week. We'll see. Don't know how that's going to go. I do not know how that's going to go. Just the first answer, so the first to look it up is the fastest. The first to look it up. Well, yeah, I mean, well, see, here's the thing. If we do just the trivia at the distillery, then that will preclude this show entirely, and we won't be able to do our show anymore. So, I don't know. I don't know the answers yet. We're working on it. We will work on it. We'll see it. Maybe we'll do trivia from the distillery, and only people in the distillery will be able to win. That might be how it goes. I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Let's do a few quick housekeeping. Tomorrow night, the Kimbros are playing live at Old Humble Distilling Company. Friday Night Live from the Old Humble Distilling Company. Music starts at 7. The Kimbros are playing tomorrow night. Kimbros are a father-son Texas country, Texas folk duo. 4/15/2022. The link is there in our channel. You can get your reminders, get everything set up. You can watch the music, be entertained. You can put in some requests for songs. They do covers of all kinds of stuff, etc., etc. Yeah, I know the people in the distillery won't be able to. They won't be able to obviously cheat. They'll have to sneak it if they do. But here's the real challenge: if they're answering the questions, they could be watching the show online and getting the answers from people online and changing their answers as it goes. So, I mean, they wouldn't technically be cheating. They would be answering, they would just be getting the answers fed to them by people online. They wouldn't be cheating. They would be, people would be helping them, not on purpose helping them. They just, you're participating as well, watching and participating and enjoying the show. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. I haven't decided. I haven't worked all those details out. We have a whole nother week. We will work it out. Next week's Monday show. So I've been doing live streams pretty much every day of the week for the last several weeks. We do a Monday update on our quest for 100,000 views. We do a Tuesday night Ukraine update happy hour. We do a Wednesday night whiskey happy hour where philosophy and science meet whiskey. And then, of course, we do our Thursday night trivia. Next week, we are not going to do the 100,000 episode or the 100,000 views update. Next week, we're not going to do that show. I'm going to skip Monday, partly because I'm exhausted, partly because I am working at the distillery on Monday, and I'm not going to have time to do the show from the studio. I won't be able to do the show because I will be busy squids and billies. Y'all, if y'all aren't watching chat, y'all are missing out on Tuna's quite entertaining commentary here. Squids and bellies only. Yes. And well, yeah, no squid device. Exactly, no devices would be allowed. But I mean, there's ways to sneak them in. That's just it. Now, here's the idea. Maybe two different trivias, or maybe two different. I don't know. Yeah, there's ways to figure it out. It's probably just the people. You got to be present to win type of thing. I'll figure it out. I'm not sure, but uh, if we it's very likely going to change the nature of our Thursday night shows. And maybe it's time to change the nature of our Thursday night shows anyway. Maybe it's time to change the nature of the shows. Maybe it's time to, I don't know, maybe it's time to sunset them. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Um, Maybe it is time to skip Thursdays and focus on Fridays. Maybe it's time to just do a Wednesday Friday show where we do the whiskey meets philosophy or philosophy and science meet whiskey and Friday night lives and leave the rest of the week to work that actually, real work that needs to get done elsewhere, elsewhere in the city and elsewhere in the distillery. Maybe it's time. Uh, maybe it's time to do that. Maybe it's time to take the Wednesday night show, keep it a long form chat format, and then take that chat format, cut it into 17 minutes, and drop it into another show later in the week, and ultimately hide the live chat and just leave the live for Friday nights live. Maybe just have Friday night live. Maybe that's where we're going to be moving in the very near future. I honest to goodness, truly do not know the answer to this question yet. Uh, Maybe the Friday night live show starts. Maybe we combine our Thursday night with our Friday night, and we do a instead of starting at 15 minutes before the performers start an hour before the performers start and have a little banter and chit chat and jibber jabber before the show starts, and then jump in and rock it out. Yeah, Thursday live is. I mean that Lisa is, but Lisa could be live on the Friday nights too. She is actually in the distillery with me on Friday nights when the band is playing. She is usually not 10 feet off to my left, working at the bar when I'm working the sound booth and just kind of making sure everything is running at the distillery while she's there. That's usually how things are going at the shop while we're doing stuff. What is going on here? Come on. The Twidger, that's the one I'm looking for. Move you down to. Okay, so that's just below my note. That's a good place for it to be. That's fine. Yeah, so that would not preclude her presence on the Friday night shows. Um, Tuna's got a crush. But okay, so safety docs in the house. So yeah, what I'm thinking is the Wednesday night show. If I reformat, there's no we, there's a me. If I reformat my Wednesday night show to where philosophy and science meets whiskey, that opens up the door to have guests coming in on the Wednesday night show and sitting back and shooting the shit about, uh, in a lot of the same way that the old Greek dudes used to do their philosophy, science, and work. They'd sit around the agoras with their grappa and shooting the shit, just talking. I mean, these guys, Aristotle, for example, he was 40 something when he went to his classical training at the Greek school of philosophy and arts and whatever the hell he did. Um, Deep fake and avatar realism consequences for society. Yeah, that would be a great topic for a Wednesday night show. As a matter of fact, and what I was saying was, Aristotle was 40, and he spent 20 years in school. So no, not 20. Yeah, he spent 20 years in school in education. Um, and these guys would sit around their little agoras, and which was a marketplace is all that means. They would sit around with their bottle of grappa. They'd pass the booze back and forth. They'd be just like sitting down there going, "So what do you think matter? What do you think the Earth? What do you think the universe is made? There must be some kind of ether out there, right? That's what they just it would be like us sitting around the fireplace or sitting around a campfire, just shooting the shit, talking about stuff, just coming up with ideas. That's what these guys used to do. So we're science and philosophy, because a lot of that stuff was literally science and philosophy. They were like Euclid, our old boy Euclid. You've heard of Euclidean geometry. You've used Euclidean geometry. You may not have heard of it, but that boy was sitting around going, a line is basically just a marking between 2 points, and you could take that marking between 2 points and stretch it out into infinity. Oh, and you know what? If you have another line right next to it and it's parallel, they'll never touch. Or if you have these two lines that intersect this other line and there's right angles on both of those lines, they'll never touch. They'll be parallel forever. And this was full on theoretical, like science, like their science and philosophy was basically the same thing. I'd like my Wednesday night shows to be kind of like that. And then I could do my early show housekeeping, my late show thank yous, and then that middle part, the little middle 15 or 20 minutes, we could like cut it down into a show of all by itself. And basically, I could have a guest on. We could unpack the notion of whatever AI. And, most really good conversations have, even really good ones, have gaps in them, and you can cut that conversation down to 20 or 30 minutes fairly easily, probably, or maybe a little bit more than that. But AI, deep fakes, all kinds of fantastic stuff. We could discuss that. Vanessa Kitty suggested doing the Euclidean postulates, which is why I brought up Euclid, because I've been reading about Euclid and his postulates, refreshing my memory and all this stuff. With all that, Pythagoras and Aristotle and Socrates and all these really kick-ass old Greek dudes who just basically, like very, very literally, sat around passing grappa, shooting the shit, smoking their cigars or whatever it is they smoked. I don't know. I don't know what Greeks. I don't know if Greeks smoked. I assume they did. Well, they didn't have tobacco, so what would they have smoked in Europe pre-tobacco? Because they didn't have tobacco prior to the 1600s when I'm sure they had some kind of aromatic herb that they smoked, basil or something. I don't know. That's something to look up. Smart people, get on that, would you? Find out what they smoked in Europe uh, before the introduction of tobacco. Find out for me. Maybe that'll be a trivia question one day. I don't know. So there's a reformatting that is going to be coming. And part of that is a result of my 100,000 views project that I've been working on since the middle part of February. Last month, March, we had our best month ever. April is promising to be the next best month ever. But part of the reason why I'm having good months as far as views go is because I'm just making a crap ton of content. I'm just putting out a show every day. Watch hours are up. Subscriptions are not. But watch hours are up. So that tells me that I need to be doing something more interesting. I need to be doing something more interesting and more connecting to my audience as they come by to see what we're doing, get them involved more effectively. And I need to, I'll figure that out. I'm working on that. I'm trying to think of better ways to organize our shows. Thursday nights are a good night show. We're not going to have, unfortunately, Unhinged tonight. Lisa said, and I quote, let me read her text. This is going to be much to her mortification. She was helping a friend move. She will be late for the show. She says I may be late for the show. She's going to be late for the show. She's late for the show. She's always late for the show. She's tired and stinky. I think she said, did she say stinky? I am stinky. Yep, she said, and I quote, I am stinky. So when she comes on to the show, you can greet her with, hello, stinky. So there you go. There's a defensive position for the typical citizen or whiskey tycoon. We should do a show and unpack deepfake and avatar realism consequences on society. Like I'd be defending deepfakes and I'm not a big fan of virtual reality environments. Not generally a big fan of those virtual environments. They kind of they bother me. But I'm also a big fan of like vetting your sources and skeptically receiving information unless it is from a reliable source and it's triangulated between two or three or four or more sources. Uh, like not getting all of your news from one news organization is a really great way to make sure you're fairly well informed. But we'll dig into that some other time. We're not. That's not a topic for tonight. That's not a topic for tonight. So now, right about now in the show, 9:24 ish, 9:30 ish, would be about the time when we do our Unhinged Chronicles. But we don't have an Unhinged Chronicle this week because Lisa's sleeping on the job is what she's doing. She's not participating. She's being just a chump. But hey, you know what we could do? We could go ahead and start trivia early. What do you say in chat? Starting trivia early. We could go and we can even throw in a couple of extra questions for the chat. We are doing the classic trivia, classic Trivial Pursuit trivia questions. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 15 questions pulled from the deck. There they are. 15 questions right there, pulled from the deck. If y'all want to get started early, we can get started early. Tell me so in chat. We will get started early. And I will switch screens to the trivia screen. Boop, there it is. All of the chatter there on the screen. Did that change that? Nope, did not. Hot diggity damn. It's so hard to see. Can we increase the font? Can we manage this? Let's see here. Maybe it's stop it. Go away. Can we increase that? Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. We can increase that all day long, baby. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to adjust this up a little bit. There we go. All right. So the way it's going to work, I will type the question into. Well, no, I'm not going to type the question in chat. I'm going to say the question and give you all 90 seconds to answer. And then we will just go for it. I'm going to text Lisa and let her know I'm starting trivia. Trivia. I'll give her a couple of minutes to join me. She may have decided she stinks too much to be on the internet and jumped in the shower. That would be funny. That would make me laugh because nobody can smell you on the internet, not even in the metaverse. And when she jumps into the show, she will be right here, hopefully, either right here below or right here above, and hopefully not right over here to the side because that would put her right in the way of everything. All right, so what we're going to do, every time I have a question to ask, since there are 6 categories, bam, 6 categories, I will roll this die. Bam, that is the die. I'll roll the die, and we will get a number. The number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 corresponding to the question on the card. Any questions? Good. The person, place, or thing with the most answers correct will get. Everybody who gets a correct answer gets a point. If you get an incorrect answer, should I do that? If you get an incorrect answer, you lose a point. You know what? Nobody gets incorrect answers because everybody cheats. But Tuna gave a very good suggestion. The first person to give a correct answer gets the points. And we will go that route for today. First person to give the correct answer, as it appears in chat. We'll do that. I think that's fair. That way, if you actually know the answer, you get the point. If you don't know the answer, you look it up. Somebody else may look it up and get the answer before you. We good with that? Any objections? No objections? Any objections over in chat? Any objections over in chat? No objections? Good. All right. That is how we will do this. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, the first question of trivia. That is a 6. 6 is the number. What color monopoly properties are landed on most often? What color monopoly properties are landed on most often? And that starts the stopwatch with 90 seconds go. What color properties in Monopoly are landed on most often? What color properties in Monopoly are landed on most often? What color properties are landed on in Monopoly most often? And Lisa's here. We will add her in. There she is, right. Let's swap places with her. There's Lisa. Milady.
Hey,
How are you?
I am clean and not stinky now.
See, I
In
told
fact,
y'all
I
she was probably
smell-
taking a shower because she was stinky and she thinks people can smell her on the internet. Nobody can smell you on the internet. Doy. Um, so we're doing.
grimy and stuff. I felt gross.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. I understand it. We're doing trivia just a little bit different today. Only the first answer gets the point. I
Oh,
know.
like the very first.
Only the first person who submits an answer gets the point.
Got it.
And I started early, so nobody's answering, so that's fine. But still, first, second, and third place will still get the Boozy Bucks, 20, 10, and 5, but only the first answer gets the points.
So nobody's answered.
Not yet.
So nobody has points.
Nobody has a point. This was just the first question. And that is 90 seconds, and we are done with that. That question is gone. The answer, by the way, the question was, what property in Monopoly gets landed on the most? What color property gets landed on the most? The answer is orange. Orange, you glad I didn't say blue.
Ah.
Oh gosh, shut up. Quit talking. I did make the announcement that next week we'll do trivia from the distillery. I'm not sure how it's going to work doing trivia from the distillery. Because
We're gonna figure it out.
Well, yeah, because the people at the distillery have to write their answers down and then submit their answers at the end of trivia. Where people online can have to post their answer right away. And if you post your answer right away, then the people writing it down could theoretically see the answer.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to I'm not sure how to address that problem. Anyway, question number 2. Let me roll the die. That is a 1, which is geography. Where does Queen Elizabeth II live when she's in London? Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II.
Yep.
Is she the second?
Yep.
Oh, golly. There's only been 2 Elizabeths, but I guess she's been around since like 1901. So
53, I believe, is when she took the. Oh no.
Well, it's been 75 years, right? This would be the Golden Jubilee or whatever, Platinum Jubilee year. So it's been at least 75 years, which would be 1945, right? Wouldn't that be about right?
Was it 1984?
Anyway, doesn't matter. We have an answer.
Woo!
We'll give them 90. We're giving 90 seconds for the answers to come in. First person to get the correct answer gets the points. John Jacob is the first person with the answer, but for another 50 seconds, I'm not going to say whether it's the first correct answer or not. And cheers to you, John Jacobs. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the madness that is Old Humble Trivia Night. I was also telling him that we're not doing a 100,000 views update next week, and I am going to be reevaluating the lineup of shows that we do. Especially if I'm at the distillery distilling all day long and then turning around and coming back and doing a show. I don't think I want to do a show after I've been distilling all day long. Points go to John Jacobs.
Woo!
Buckingham Palace is the answer, and he answered correctly. So points go. Oops. I just dropped a card. Ah. Hold on a second. Ah. Yeah. Goodness. There it is. But I'm excited about the possibility of doing Wednesday nights where philosophy and science meet. Let's go with question number 2, and I'll finish saying that in just a second. The die rolls a 2. This is entertainment. How many finally made it to freedom in the movie The Great Escape? How many finally make it to freedom in the movie The Great Escape? And that'll start the timer, the 90-second timer. So I'm thinking of the Wednesday nights, I'll be able to start bringing in guests again. I'm very comfortable with the stability of the show, the Zoom feed, and all the stuff. I can bring in guests on Wednesday night virtually or physically. And then have a where whiskey meets philosophy and science type of show where we talk about the big ideas. Safety Doc suggested earlier doing a show unpacking deep fakes and Avatar realism, which I don't think is. I don't know if that's nearly as big a problem as people think it is. I don't know.
I mean,
but I also haven't given it a lot of thought.
Avatar is. I mean, Tuna's Avatar is obviously correct, relevant, representative.
Right?
Yeah.
Repeating the question, how many people finally made it to freedom in The Great Escape? 90 seconds may be too long. How many people made it to freedom in The Great Escape? In fact, we should probably knock it down to about a minute. About a minute. How many people made it to freedom in The Great Escape?
Right.
Because we're at minute 15 right now. That's plenty of time for people to answer the damn question. I'm more concerned about the lag. You know, when I ask the question, people hear the question and they're able to type it in. It's like a 30-second lag at least, and that is a minute and a half. And John Jacobs gets the point. That's 2 points for John Jacobs.
Yay!
3 people made it to safety. In the movie The Great Escape, a dramatization of the attack on Alderaan from Star Wars. They focused in on just the planet and people who made the Great Escape from Alderaan.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Haven't seen The Great Escape.
Yeah, I haven't.
Spoiler alert. Joe is totally making that up. But it's an amazing movie.
Well, I haven't seen The Great Escape either, so you know.
Oh
yeah. By the way, spoiler alert! That's how many people escape from Alderaan when the Death Star attacks Alderaan. Spoiler alert! You should watch the movie. Jeez, it's Star Wars. It's been like 20 years. You should watch it by now.
I have seen Star Wars.
Exactly.
A New Hope. And The Empire Strikes Back. And Return of the Jedi. And parts of that prequel trilogy.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. That is another 2 on the die. That is entertainment. Are we ready? Who produced and starred in... What the hell? Who produced and starred in Shampoo? Who produced and starred in Shampoo? Entertainment. That is the second question. Who produced and starred in Shampoo? I think that's the movie about the killer whale in SeaWorld. Shampoo. You know, he kind of goes on his tail and does all this stuff. Had a baby. Whammoo. See, John Jacobs knows the answer. See, that's the thing. The first person to get it right, that means you actually know the answer. You don't have to look it up. There you go. See, I've keyed onto this. I figured this shit out. I'm a learning monkey. Warren Beatty. That is the correct answer. I'm not even going to bother going the full minute. Warren Beatty is the correct answer. Bam, Warren Beatty. But there's a possibility that if we're doing Thursday night trivia at the distillery, we won't be doing Thursday night trivia on the show, and we might move our Thursday night shows entirely to kind of a pre-show of our Friday nights live. That is something that I've been considering. So instead of doing a show on Thursday night and a show on Friday night, we just do a longer show on Friday night as a precursor to the Friday night show. But
I think it's a great idea.
maybe shorten it up a little bit, like 30 minutes or so, when we're just a little, hi, how you doing, dumb banter, whatnot, and then kick it to the
Our
band. Maybe
banter is witty and
witty and
smart.
witty and effervescent, whoa, whatever. Maybe introduce the band, actually talk to the band members. Unless they do like Ryan did and just show up at 7 o'clock and be like, I'm here, start playing the guitar, just falls out of the back of his truck and starts playing. Thanks, Ryan. You're great, man.
He is great.
Yeah, I know he is. He's not watching. I can talk all kinds of shit about him. Okay, this was a 6, bam. 6. The question is, what did the New York Yankees do in 1966 for the first time in 54 years? What did the What did the New York Yankees do for the first time in 54 years in 1966? Steal signs. Only the Astros stole signs. Bullshit. I have a raging headache. Ugh. And I have not turned on our little lower third. We don't have the lower thirds in this particular screen. That's fine. Not a big deal. But I guess it's time. I guess I could take the next 30 seconds and say that the show is brought to you in part by our new sponsor, Bed Gutters. Bed Gutters, for when you're nice and cozy under the sheets and you don't want to get up. Install Bed Gutters so you can just lay there, let it go, and their patented bed gutter technology will take your runoff right into the drain. For only 9 payments and $9.99, you too can have Bed Gutters and unending comfort and warmth in your bed. Bed Gutters. Get them at fine hardware stores near you. That is 1 minute. We're going to stop that.
And guarantee that you are single.
The Yankees, what did the Yankees do, the New York Yankees do in 1966 for the first time in 54 years? Did anyone answer?
John Jacobs said had
two guys hit over 60 home runs. The answer is they finished last place. They finished last. Womp womp. So what's the leaderboard say, Lisa? Have you been keeping track?
Yeah, John Jacobs has 3 points.
Who else has points? Lisa?
Nobody. It's just John Jacobs.
You just award $20 to John Jacobs and just end it. I'm gonna start playing. Where's my phone? I can do that. I don't have the answers until I have to answer, right? I have to read the question and then I have to answer. Whoops, stop, reset. Okay. All right. I won't do that.
Or I can start playing.
Ooh, you could. That'd be fun.
The Yankees do suck.
The Yankees suck royally. But, Altuve owns Yankee Stadium, so it works well for everybody. This is another entertainment. I'm not going to ask another entertainment question. 2s are the devil. We'll ask a number 5, which is science and nature.
What? No.
I've asked 3 of those already. I don't want to ask another one. I am the game master. I can do that if I want to. Science and nature. How many people seated at a table is considered bad luck? I guess it depends on the people. How many people seated at a table is considered bad luck? That's science and nature? I don't think they understand what science and nature is. How many people seated at a table is bad luck? Do. I already looked at the answer, so I'm not going to answer.
I guess 5.
We have a guess of 5. We have an answer of 13. You have 30 more seconds, people. I know there's more than one person watching the show. How many people seated at a table is bad luck?
Yes, sir.
Live. Actually, we may only have one person watching the show right now. See, that's another reason why I want to retool the lineup. Feels like it's getting stale. All right, we'll end that. It is 13. John Jacobs gets the 95th point of the fucking game.
John Jacobs, what?
Nick has entered the chat. All right. John has a challenger.
Yay!
All right, John, Nick, we're in trivia.
Joe,
Huh?
what's the answer?
Oh, it was 13. I said 13.
Okay, I couldn't
13.
hear you.
Of course it's 13. It's always 13. Name a number of X that is bad luck. It is always 13. Always. Always, always, always. How many floors on a building is bad luck? 13. How many people at a table is bad luck? 13. How many wedding guests? 13. How many polyps in your colon is bad luck? 13. It's always 13. Every single time. Oh, you only have 6. You're fine. Anyway, the first person to get an answer gets the point. Nick, you are now entered into chat as a contestant. Congratulations.
This is for Boozy Bucks.
Your benefactor has paid your entry fee. How many cats' buttholes is bad luck? 13. 1 if it's a black cat. This is a number 3 question is history. What group kidnapped and murdered? Oh, this is charming. Italian premier Aldo Moro.
Just read the question.
What group kidnapped and murdered Italian premier Aldo Moro? Nick and John, you have 1 minute. Aldo Moro, what group kidnapped and murdered? Oh, that makes sense. What group kidnapped and murdered Italian premier Aldo Moro? Do. You have 30 more seconds. What Italian group, or what group, no, what group kidnapped and murdered Italian premier Mexican cartel? What group kidnapped and murdered Italian premier Aldo Moro? Aldo Moro. Aldo. Italian premier Aldo Moro. I wonder if they played Where's Aldo when he was a kid. Like dressed him up in a dumb shirt and hit him in a crowd and tried to find him. All right, that is 1 minute, 9 seconds. We're stopping the timer.
I think it was the fascist.
Lisa, you make the decision. I just stopped the timer. I have not given the answer yet. The answer now is Red Brigade. The answer is the Red Brigade. That is the correct answer. John Jacobs, did you get the point?
4 points now.
Okay, John Jacobs gets the point. Yeah, the Red Brigade was a. I don't think they were. I think they were a communist group in Italy in the 60s, I think. A communist terrorist group in the 60s in Italy, specifically in Italy. Charming fellows, like just absolutely. They played a mean saxophone. Arts and literature. Arts and literature. And sometimes you read the question and you're just like, seriously. All right, get your answer and fingers ready. Starting the timer. Who wrote the Diary of Anne Frank? Who wrote the Diary of Anne Frank? Who wrote the Diary of Anne Frank? First person to answer gets the point. Who wrote the Diary of Anne Frank? Jesus. Who wrote the Diary of Anne Frank? And see, usually I hate the brown questions because they're just like hard. This is like about books and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. She did it with the lights off. Fun fact. the diary. Oh, no, never mind. All right. Are we there? We're at a minute. That is 1 minute. The answer is Anne Frank. Anne Frank wrote the Diary of Anne Frank.
Nick is on the board with 1 point.
Yes, it was published by, I believe, her uncle, but it was written by Anne Frank. Yes, the Diary of Anne Frank, who's buried in Grant's tomb.
Father.
Was it her father? I thought it was her uncle. Doesn't matter. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, who published it or whatnot. I mean, it does in the grand scheme, I guess. It does to them. I think it's public domain at this point, isn't it? I don't know. Helen. Who's the blind lady? Helen. What's her name?
Keller.
Helen Keller. She wrote her diary in the dark too. Didn't touch. Thank you. Okay, this is a.
Her father who
Was it?
published that.
Oh,
Otto
there you
Frank.
go. All right, so we just rolled a 6. That is sports and leisure. What are the team colors for the Boston Celtics? What are the team colors for the Boston Celtics? There's the question.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's science or sports and leisure of the. Of course. Oh, I'm sorry. What are the team colors for the Boston Celtics in 1986? I think we should probably qualify the question there, just to make sure that if in the intervening 40 years they did not add or subtract colors, then we should
1986 was not 40 years ago.
38
Two.
whatever. 1986.
Oh, yeah.
Work on that, kid.
36.
It's closer to 40 than it is to 30.
You know, I thought today was Friday.
Yeah, that's fine. Nick knows where I was going with the Helen Keller joke.
I think they were green and white.
So we have both people have answered.
Blue and white.
We have both contestants who have answered. We're at the 1 minute mark. I need to stop the timer. It is green and white is the answer, and that is out of focus. But trust me, it says green and white. Green and white. No points. No points.
I got the point.
And your families are embarrassed.
I got it right.
I got it right as well. In 1986, the Celtics famously played. Was it the Celtics and the Rockets in 1986? Yeah, it was the Celtics and Rockets in 1986. And Hakeem Olajuwon punched Kevin McHale square in his pasty white face. Man, that guy's ugly. Science and nature. Timer starts when I finish the question. How many... What? How many... I thought this said seats. Okay. It says, how many teats does a cow have? How many teats does a cow have? And I was reading it and I thought it said seats. And immediately my brain said, how many seats does a train have? And I couldn't not read train when I kept looking at it. And then when I looked closer and I saw teats, and I was trying to figure out, why is it asking me how many teats a train has? Trains don't have teats. And I couldn't disconnect the words that I had already assumed were there in my head. How many teats does a cow have? Is the question. How many teats does a cow have? Spoiler alert, it's more than 2. Bulls only have 1. How many teats does a cow have?
John Jacobs says 4. Nick Nepper says 4. And
they're all mine. How many teats does a cow have? That is 1 minute. The answer is 4. Bam. And according to chat, it goes to John. Yep.
Yeah.
This is going quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 questions left. I've already gone through 9. Chugga chugga. 4 teats on a train. Woo woo! Milk 'em, milk 'em, milk 'em, milk 'em, milk 'em, milk 'em, milk 'em.
Well, only one seed on a cow.
Good Lord.
John says that Old Humble must have milked a bull or an almond.
Or an almond. Yeah. Yesterday I got 17 gallons out of the still run. And tomorrow I'll be running the still again. And it's 70 gallons of high proof. I was expecting it to be low around 150 proof. It was up around 170. It was a really good run yesterday. I was very, very, very happy with the outcome. And the gin smells and tastes divine. 4. We are on Arts and Leisure. Are you ready? Do you have a good firm grasp on your butts? Because this is about to blow you out of the water. I should probably read the question before I build it up. Who won a Pulitzer Prize for his novel, The Caine Mutiny? Haha, see, that's the arts and literature questions I'm familiar with. Who won a Pulitzer Prize, Pulitzer, for his novel, The Caine Mutiny?
It is Pulitzer.
It is Pulitzer. Who won a Pulitzer Prize for The Caine Mutiny? For his novel, The Caine Mutiny. See, they drop these little hints in there, so you know it's a male author. So that rules out like 2% of all authors who won Pulitzer Prizes. It's 1986. I didn't make the rules. They're just sexist back then. And I am willing to bet 0 people get this one correct. 0 out of 2. You got 10 seconds before I cut the timer off. Who won a Pulitzer Prize for his movie, The Caine Mutiny? That is
wild.
It is wild, but the answer is Herman Wouk. W-O-U-K. Herman Wouk. Or Wouk. Wouk?
Huh.
Herman Wouk. Wouk. We'll go with Wouk. It sounds like an appropriately wowky name. Yeah, I know. Nobody has any idea. Nobody has any idea who that person is. Name a novel by Herman Wouk. Wouk. W-O-U-K. Name a novel. I can name one. Caine Mutiny. Womp womp. All right. Time for let's roll the die for a history question. Oh, this is easy. I'll start the timer now. What was the occupation of Jack the Ripper's 5 victims? What was the occupation of Jack the Ripper's 5 victims? What was the occupation? They're taking great liberties with the term occupation at this point, too. What was the occupation of Jack the Ripper's 5 victims? And only 5 victims. I mean, talk about underachieving. We knock off 5 victims in a kindergarten on a Wednesday morning here in the States. Like, that's why Britain lost the fucking empire. They can't mass murder or serial. I guess he was a serial killer. They can't serial kill like pros. They really needed to step up their game, and they just could not. So there you go. We have 8 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, we have call girl and hooker. The answer is prostitute. Lisa, you be the judge. Is call girl...
No points.
No points?
No points.
No points?
No points.
That's harsh. See, I would have at least given points to hooker.
Nope.
Because hooker and prostitute are more synonymous than call girl and prostitute.
So...
Because they specifically did not have phones in Jack the Ripper's England.
Would have accepted sex worker or prostitute.
But hooker is sex worker. I mean,
I get to be the final arbiter.
All right.
No points.
Nick, she is overruling me. I would have given you the points. If you'd have gotten in first, I'd have given you the points, no question.
Yeah, but you don't get to give the points.
I don't technically get to give the points, but I wouldn't have gone to the judge. I'd been like, yeah, hooker works. And I know it's the impolite way to describe, but they weren't like I guess they must have been at the time, the 1800s. I guess you would have been professional, but still, they were known as hookers, or prostitutes, ladies of the night. Whoas. They were whoas. That's what they were. They were whoas. All right, this is one geography.
Let's not make this any more degrading than what it needs to be.
They're hookers that died in 1850 something. What 1850 something was the 1850s, right? They're 170-year-old dead hookers. I mean, goodness. You know the difference.
Just move on. Next
Archer teaches us the difference between a call girl and a hooker is what
Archer is like not reputable source.
If she's in the trunk, she's a hooker. If she's still alive, she's a call girl. That's the difference. That's how Archer explains it.
Keep going.
Which is why Nick would have gotten the point.
If you roll the die.
Where were we? What was the question? What is the largest city in China? What is the largest city in China in 1986? What is the largest city?
Skip that question.
Which I think is probably, it's probably the same city. Is my guess. We have two comments that were erased by the commenter. They retracted their own comments. What is the largest city in China? China. What is the largest city in China? In 1986. That's the caveat. But, I mean, if nobody gets it right, nobody gets it right. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like you lose points. It's not like I'm going to come over and hit you in the kneecap with a pipe because you missed a question about China in 1986. I'll come over and hit you in the knee with a pipe for any other reason. Or just for no reason. I'm good with that, but I'm not going to do it just because you missed a question about China. Well, first of all, that's a minute. Bangkok's not in China. Bangkok's in Thailand. It's Shanghai. Golly.
And it is still Shanghai.
It is still Shanghai, yes. I had a hunch that it was still the same channel or the same city, yeah. Anyway, okay, so nobody gets a point. No points for anybody. God have mercy on your soul. Roll the die. Ooh, a repeat geography question. All right. What is the most exclusive hotel on Brook Street in London? The most exclusive hotel on Brook Street in London. I guess it's probably the most exclusive hotel in London, too. What is the most... China sucks. The most exclusive hotel on... I'm saying hotel. Like Ho Chi Minh. Amenhotep. Like it's a place to stay in an Egyptian pharaoh. What is the most exclusive hotel on Brook Street in London? I don't know why I was calling it a hotel. That's a weird way to. Just a weird way to say it. Like saying Bangkok. What is the most exclusive hotel on Brook Street in London? Nah, I've never heard of this hotel. Never heard of it. That's how exclusive it is. They don't even let me in, and I'm world famous. I was invited to be the whiskey maker of the Queen for her Jubilee celebration last year. I only had to pay $25,000 for the privilege. I declined it because, obviously, that's a minute and a half. Nobody knows. That's how exclusive it is. The hotel is called Claridge's. Claridge's. Yeah. I don't know. Last question. Last card. Last question.
Wait. Spell the hotel name.
Claridge. 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 Apostrophe S. Claridge's. Does it still exist?
It does.
How about that? How much is a room? Or is this one of those places that if you have to ask, you can't afford it?
I'm about to find out.
Or do you pay with like a gold coin and no murders allowed? Is it part of the corporation? Does Matthew Broderick stay there? Queen Elizabeth's womb was a really good answer, though. I will. Lisa said, I'm guessing a room costs 5 figures for the night. $12,000 for a night.
What's the exchange rate right now?
I don't know.
Never mind. There's a button.
There's a button. There's always a button. I'm guessing 12,000 a night. Am I close?
No, I don't think so.
Is that high or low?
It's high.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Then I can afford it. I'll write him a check. The wire will be coming in tomorrow. We'll get the wire tomorrow. Have you seen Inventing Anna? Have you seen that any part of that show?
Which one?
Inventing Anna. Inventing Anna, where this scam artist.
Oh no, but it's on my watch list.
Oh yeah, she has the worst fucking accent, the absolute worst accent. Did Mel Brooks burn? I know what all those words are, but I don't know what they all mean together. Did Mel Brooks burn Anne Frank's diary in springtime in Germany?
That
don't know the reference.
A reference to
Blazing Saddles?
How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay, so a room is 930 British pounds a night, which
that's it?
is $1,215, plus a 20% VAT tax at least.
That's easy. That's it. Shit. Yeah, I can write a check for that as long as they don't cash it. This is good. I can just write a little IOU, put it on my American Express Platinum card. Never leave home without it. Speaking of which, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Old Humble Distilling Company's Double Oak Straight Rye.
Oh, wait.
I'm in the middle of a sponsor spot. You gotta wait. You don't wait me when I'm in the middle of a sponsor spot. You gotta wait till the end of the sponsor spot.
Wait, but there's more on these room rates.
Well, you can tell us when I'm done with the sponsor spot. Brought to you by Old Humble Distilling Company's Double Oak Straight Rye. Are you the kind of person that smells bad at a party? Well, we can't fix that for you. Please go take a shower. But we can make you more interesting. Simply bring a bottle of Double Oak Straight Rye. Then people will act like they like you to get a drink. Double Oak Straight Rye. Bring some to a party. They'll act like they like you. All right. Lisa, what was more?
So the corner suite is 4,800 British.
Well, that's nice.
But then you get into these signature suites.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to.
These are the ones that I stay in.
Call or email to find out more.
Yeah, those are the ones that I stay in when I travel to London. I stay in the signature suites. There's an Old Humble suite just waiting for me whenever I go to London. They're like.
So in the Octagon, they have one called the Octagon.
That's nice. That's awesome. I stayed in the Septagon last time I was there. It was very, very gorgeous and wonderful. Question from the gallery.
The Octagon sounds like there's going to be an MMA match inside of it.
Yeah, right. Lisa is a pretty name. That's from Nick. That's not a question. The question is, what kind of gin do we have? The gin that I was making was Flower Moon Gin. Flower Moon Gin. Kind of gin that you want to drink when you want to drink gin. Flower Moon Gin. I do that for free for them. But it really is delicious. It smells fantastic. The whole distillery smelled great. Mosquitoes love it. It's the #1 preferred gin for mosquitoes. They were all in the distillery last night. And goddamn, drove me absolutely nuts. What else? Commercial brought to you by Sip It Down, Lisa. Exactly. So sip it out, Lisa. Okay. Last question. And we're going to make this question. What's the scoreboard say?
John Jacobs has 5. Nick has 1.
We're going to make this worth 5 points. We're going to make this worth 5 points. So Nick can steal it if he gets the question right before John. Question's worth 5 points. The whole game has been meaningless. It's all just come down to one question. Now, I mean, we got to put some drama into this, right?
No, we don't.
And John Jacobs has already won like 16 times already. All right. Oh, jeez. All right, get your answering fingers ready. I'm going to start the timer, and I'm going to read the question. Y'all ready? Who's buried in Grant's tomb? I'm kidding. That's not the question. Are y'all ready? Here we go. What are supposed to return to the San Juan Capistrano mission every March 19th? Go. What is supposed to return to the San Juan Capistrano mission every March 19th? What is supposed to return to the San Juan Capistrano mission every March 19th? There's the answer, or the question rather. What is supposed to return to the San Juan Capistrano mission? We have answers. I don't think we have anybody else in the party. And if we had one other person coming in, they could have snaked the whole thing out from under everybody. I could have made it worth like 1,000,000 points for the final question. It's worth 60 trillion points. We're going to call it. It is Swallows. Swallows return to the Capistrano mission. Swallows. What returns to the Capistrano mission? Swallows. Oddly enough, that's not actually describing the birds. It's when the nuns return to the mission every March 19th from their work abroad. That is why swallows return to the mission. See what I did there? You're dirty, old humble guy. Yeah, I know. Stop it. Leave me be.
Sacrilegious.
Did you just say sacrilegious?
I said sacrilegious.
That's dirty, Lisa. Lisa, that is
on
dirty.
Thursday.
Sacrilegious. Man. Did you just switch us?
No, I did not.
I'm pretty sure you just switched us. All right. It is time for me to add to my ledger book who won, or who has what, and why, and where. What month is
John
this?
Jacob wins.
Is this April? This is April. So we're going to add points to John Jacobs. Who do we got? We got
John Jacobs and Nick Nepper.
Nick Nepper?
Yep.
With a K.
Yes. The K is silent.
And he gets 10 points.
Although I had a high school teacher who was Knapic. It was K-N-A. So maybe the K isn't silent. Nick,
I had a friend who lived down the street from me named Chris Knapic. He is he still alive? Back in the old neighborhood. Back in the old neighborhood where I used to live. That's what we call the suburbs that I grew up in, the old neighborhood.
So, Nick, you get Boozy Bucks for this.
Yep, $10 Boozy Bucks. Oh, you've never engaged in the end of the games before. So Boozy Bucks are basically it's a gift certificate for the distillery. You can use them, redeem them for merchandise at the distillery: hats, shirts, tank tops, shot glasses, bottles of whiskey. The catch, if you were to describe this as a catch, if it has to be shipped to you, it includes shipping. So when you have enough, they roll over from week to week to week to week to week. If you have enough, you can redeem them for merchandise. Voila. Just like that. And congratulations to Jesus, what time is it? 10:14. This show went quickly. See, that's what happens when we don't have Unhinged.
Oh, Nick does pronounce the K.
Oh, how about that? Knepper. Cool. So Tuna comes back in just as the trivia ends. Tuna.
Tuna does make trivia much more interesting.
Well, all of his answers have Finn in them. It's hard to even read them. He would have answered Finstitutes. Or Squidstitutes. Would have been one of those two. Finstitute or Squidstitute. So there you go.
So Nick, we're possibly changing the schedule on trivia. So stay tuned.
So where I come from, DTF means down to fuck.
Oh, God.
And if he's DTF to play again, I had to read that a couple times. Like, okay. I'm okay. If you're local, you can always come to the distillery. We're going to be doing trivia live at the distillery starting next week. Wipe my pate with my rally towel. I don't know how it's going to work online and live. We'll figure it out. Like I said, we'll always figure it out. It's not that complicated, right? I mean, we can make it complicated, but doesn't have to be. Make it bigger. There we go. I'm not. Oh, that's what he was saying. He's not far. Cool. That is too big. Smaller. Come on. Is it a Finstitute or Squid? See, I told you. Tuna knows what's up. He would have. It was the the 5 victims of Jack the Ripper. And the answer was prostitutes. They were prostitutes. Oh, you're up in Kingwood. Cool. You are not far away at all. You should come and check it. You should come out to the distillery tomorrow for the what is going on my computer? You should come out to the distillery tomorrow for Friday night's live at the Old Humble Distilling Company. We have the Kimbros.
Crawfish.
Kimbros, crawfish, and cocktails. And of course, the one and only alluring, lovely Miss Lisa will be there.
I will be slinging the cocktails.
Doing something, yeah. Make it smaller. Come on. I'm trying to make the chat window smaller. Like the font is like super huge. And it's like my keyboard's not responding to me. It's driving me crazy. I think I got it right. Okay. So we will move back to this window. Did that work? I think that worked. Okay, I'm happy. But yeah, music starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Music starts at 7. We may start the show at 6. Maybe a little bit earlier. Depends on if I get my actual work done. We'll see. I don't know. I have the attention span of a very small mouse. Um, Lisa has a link. Yeah, you have a channel. Of course, you have a channel.
Do I?
Well, you have a screen name. You have a screen name and thing, and that mean everybody has a channel. If you have a name on YouTube, if you sign in on YouTube, you have a channel. You may not have content, but you have a channel.
Huh.
$10 at the door. That gets you the show, and they get you a flight of samples or a cocktail, your call. And then $10 for the crawfish. Dude, we're going to have a vendor there, a merch vendor there for the first time on our Friday nights live. That merch vendor just so happens to be the guy who painted the Be Somebody graffiti on the railroad trestle over I-10. The most iconic piece of art in the entire city of Houston. We're going to have that guy at the distillery tomorrow. I do not know his name because the contact that I had said, "Do you want to meet the Be Someone guy?" I'm like, "That guy?" He's like, "Yeah, that guy. Do you want to meet the Be Someone guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to meet the Be Someone guy." He's like, "Yeah, he's got merch. He'll come and set up a pop up table." I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I want to see that guy. He's the coolest guy in the whole universe. Um, gin. I don't sell the gin at the distillery. I'm sure I can. Can I get a bottle of that gin at the distillery? That's going to be a challenge. Okay, so here's the thing. The gin is a product that we make for an outside partner. I don't I don't own the brand. I don't own the bottles. And we're in the process of bottling it now. So tomorrow, I'll be able to give you a sample, but I won't be able to give you a bottle. So you can always come and try it. And maybe I'll be able to talk Nisar, the guy who makes flour, or the I guess you call him the chef. He's the formula master. The Yeah, I guess that's what you would call him. He's the creator of the brand. I can ask him if he wants to put some bottles out there for cocktails too. And maybe I'll make an Old Humble make some of his gin for under an Old Humble brand so we can sell cocktails at the distillery. We'll see. Um, Ooh, Lisa, you are gonna have some YouTube content in the next few months. Ooh, naughty
Maybe.
little vixen. What are you gonna be doing, or is it all top secret?
It's not exactly all worked out yet. So, but I'm doing a lot of writing.
A lot of writing?
A lot of writing.
No, that sounds exciting. Woo!
Hey,
Writing's
some of
good.
these stories are funny.
Writing is very good. And see, what people don't, I joke about it a lot that I don't prepare for my shows. I don't do any writing, whatever. I actually prepare a lot for especially my Wednesday show. My Tuesday show I don't do so much preparation for because it's like current events and updates on the Ukraine thing, or at least that's what it has been. I'll probably be moving away from that in the next few days or the next few weeks. But my Wednesday night shows, the topical show, the whiskey meets philosophy meets science, or philosophy and science meets whiskey nights shows. Those shows I do a lot of pre-writing, pre-research, which is just research, writing and research and preparation. I do a lot of preparation for those shows. A whole lot more preparation for those shows than I do for these shows. Uh, it's easier to do a show with less prep when you have somebody to talk to because we've got stuff to talk to and stuff to talk about. The trivia to do, the unhinged stuff. We've got stuff we can do. But the Wednesday night show, when it's just me and the camera, uh, man, I gotta have figures and information and data and knowledge and like stuff, and that doesn't all. Some of it comes easy. Like some of it is like topics that I know about. Uh, I'm watching things cycle over here on the screen. Anyway, some of it's stuff that I just know about, but others it's stuff that I like actually have to look up. Like the show I'm going to do in a couple of weeks with a kind of a deep dive on old Greek philosophers, philosopher scientists from Greece. I know of them, but I don't know a lot about them. And then when we do the deep dive into the Euclidean the Euclidean postulates, the 5 Euclidean postulates. That's going to be a fun show because it's just super nerd, super nerdgasm stuff. And it was a bunch of Greek philosopher scientists sitting around in an agora, a little marketplace area, a courtyard, passing a bottle of grappa around, going like, what if like parallel lines like actually intersected, dude? And then they pass the bong off to the next guy as they're just getting totally shit faced. They're like, what happens if like there was like an island country they like went underwater? That'd be weird. And then they've just passed the bottle off to the side, and that's sometimes they hit on stuff that was really important and they wrote books, but a lot of that knowledge was lost, and it's probably good because they were drunk a lot. And that's going to be a fun show because, like, for real, those guys were drunk a lot. They were like drunk a lot. And who was it? Archimedes. When he died, he was sentenced to death. The Romans had him, then the Greeks had him, then the Romans had him, and then he was sentenced to death by the Romans. And he was sentenced to death by drinking poison tea, nightshade. He was sentenced to death. His death sentence was by drinking nightshade, which is the dumbest way to sentence somebody to death. You're sentenced to death by suicide. Here, drink this. So it was nightshade in wine, and he drinks it. But he was drinking it, and he was like working his way through a math problem, and he got himself so worked up that the poison wouldn't work on him, so they had to dose him like 3 times to make him finally die. And that's one of the coolest stories about a nerd that saves his own life because he gets all worked up over a math problem. And he's like, he wouldn't just like sit down and chill and die. He like gets up and he starts walking around and pacing, and Archimedes was the whole Eureka dude who jumped out of the bathtub famously, running down the street all butt naked because he figured out how to do the displacement formula with water. Anyway, yeah, so he didn't die. Should name my gin Nightshade. That's not a bad idea. Nightshade gin. I had nightshade spontaneously grow in my garden once. It was not uncool, but it was not at all edible. Nightshade is a very poisonous plant related to potatoes and tomatoes, but it's also very poisonous, very deadly. Don't eat it. Don't put it in tea with wine unless you have a really good math problem that you're working on. That is my public service announcement of the night. So, Lisa, I'm going to be up at the shop tomorrow morning early between 8 and 9.
Right.
Everything is ready as far as the stills go to fire up the stills, and we will begin the process of making the next batch of gin bright and early, hopefully before the mosquitoes wake up.
When will there be something for me to do?
Oh, there's plenty of bottles to label.
Okay.
So, come out when you can.
Okay.
Once everything gets fired up and running, I'll probably run to the store, get some more chairs and a couple of tables, and do some stuff. Our vendors should be showing up around 4:00 to get everything set up for food and stuff. And then the band should be showing up between 6 and 6:30. And if history is any indicator, the crowd of people will show up around 8:30, about an hour and a half after the band starts playing. Because I don't know why they just show up whenever the fuck they show up, but they show up whenever they want to. And whatever, I'm cool with that. So yeah, there you go. Anything else going on in chat? Land potatoes and land tomatoes are part of the Nightshade family of, yes, they are. That is correct. Tuna. Now, Nick, if you like Tanqueray, you're going to love Flower Moon Gin. Flower Moon Gin is a very good gin. Very, very good. Very high quality gin. It is made by my partner's Strange Fruit Gin Company, Strange Fruit Distribution. But Flower Moon Gin is their brand. They he's Lebanese. His background is Lebanese. His family's from Lebanon. And he has a restaurant on the other side of town, and he uses his culinary knowledge to mix together herbs and spices to go with the juniper berries to give it a very, very unique flavor. And it won a platinum medal in 2020. Yeah, it won a platinum medal in 2020 and it won a bronze medal last year in 2021 at, I think that was the New York no, it wasn't New York. It was International Spirits Competition in San Francisco, I think, in 2020 and 2021. So bravo to those guys for putting together a really fantastic recipe for their gin. And the dude who distills it knows a couple of things about distilling and managed to make a pretty good gin in the process. So there you go. There's that too. And yeah, if you come over, he will be at the shop tomorrow, and I will be asking him permission specifically to give samples of the gin as an example of stuff that we make in the distillery. So there you go. What else we got, Lisa?
Speaking of Tanqueray,
mm-hmm.
which is owned by, where is it?
Diageo, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that not only is their brand Bullet homophobic, but they're also racist?
Oh yeah. They're the bestest at that. They're very good.
Did you see the story about the woman who was a blender at the Bullet distillery, and they were sending her out on all this marketing stuff, and then they pushed her out.
Oh, the dude's daughter?
No, not Hollis.
Oh, this is another one.
This is another woman.
Oh wow, they have a pattern of behavior now, huh?
Yeah, they do.
Well,
and
that's
she's
good.
Black, and they were, using her image in a bunch of promo stuff, and she had become the face of the brand.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they pushed her out.
So. The face of the brand is something they needed after they pushed Hollis out of the
right
out of the business.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, so that's awesome. That's great. Good for them. At least they keep their they're on brand for that sort of stuff. They keep their
right. Yeah.
They're consistent. That's what I'm trying to say. At least they're consistent. Consistently bad. I can honestly say that I have never, ever, ever taken advantage of my daughter's image and then pushed her out of the company.
You can absolutely say that.
Yep, never done it. Whoop! There's my logo. I'm gonna put that up in the corner. That's what I was trying to do. Put it up here. Yeah, that's a good spot for it. Hello, logo. I'm very proud of learning how to do that. Making a spinning logo.
I have not seen that yet.
Well, you wouldn't have seen it because it's there on our opening sequence.
Is your bar looking a little?
Twins. We don't want them. Not right now. It is not time for the ad twins.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very proud of learning how to do this. Those two girls at the start were not my daughters. Those two girls are the ad twins. In late 2019, I went to Fiverr to get a spokesperson video for my YouTube channel. And for the low price of about, I think it was $40, I sent them a script and they did a 1-minute video like that and sent it back to me. And it took them like 4 days to do it. And the reason it took 4 days is because we had to trade emails for 2 days to make sure I got the script just right. And that was it. They recorded it, cracked out a pretty decent video, sent it to me, and that is the single highest viewed video on my entire channel because I put about $120 behind it in advertising money in early 2020. And we got about 12,000 views. And I think we got all of like 4 subscribers out of it. Which is also something that I'm learning to understand with our 100,000 views series that I started back in middle of. Thank you, Nick. The 100,000 views series that I started back in the middle of February. I've done a lot of good work in learning how to use the algorithms and learning how to get videos seen and learning how to get placement on the homepage and search pages and all that other stuff. We're getting a lot of views. We're getting a lot of watch time. We're getting a lot of returning viewers. People who've seen the stuff before. They're coming back to see more. And one of the ways that we just increased the viewership is that I've just done more videos, which is, and it's kind of a mission creep type of thing where you start with 1 a week, then you go to 2 a week, then you're like, oh, I have another day that I have time to do it, and now you're doing 3 a week, and next thing you know, you're doing 4 a week, and then you add a live music thing, and now you're doing 5 a week, and now, shit, I'm doing 5 videos a week, but you put in the work to get, and you want to get the views, and this is the challenge. Lisa, this is the challenge of, and I learned this in business school. This is the challenge when there's a thing that can be measured, you incentivize behavior with regard to that thing that you're measuring, right? Which is why Wells Fargo got in trouble, because Wells Fargo says, we want everybody to have like open up 7 accounts a month or something like that. That's like your benchmark, 7 accounts per month. And next thing you know, they have people getting new mortgages and new checking accounts and another checking account and a savings account and a credit card and another credit card. And like every month, people are getting like new savings accounts. And that was known as fraud because these people weren't asking for checking accounts. They were just getting new checking accounts. And that was bad because obvious reasons. For very obvious reasons, that was very, very bad. So my project has been increase the number of views to my channel. And what I have done to increase the number of views to my channel is simply do more shows. And it has worked. I've done more shows. I've gotten more views. And I've gotten more. Fascinating. Yo, that's your Basset. I'm watching the chat as I'm looking at the chat as it goes through, but I'm not necessarily reading the names. Why is no one talking about Why is nobody talking about Gilbert Gottfried dying the other day? I've seen a lot of people talking about Gilbert Gottfried dying.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sorry.
If you want me to be there anytime before noon, I need to hit Zach.
Okay, Lisa. You need to go to bed. So you go to bed. I'll wrap up the show. We've got 20 minutes left? I'll wrap up the show. Everybody, Lisa Linda, give her a hand.
Good night.
Good night.
I'll see you guys next week. Oh, and
probably tomorrow night.
Live streaming tomorrow?
Say again?
We're live streaming tomorrow, aren't
we? Yeah, well, they'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Okay.
All right, bye. Peace out. Let's get her to. Where am I going to put you? We're going to send you to the green room, or just kick you out?
No, I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Well, then we'll make you. There she goes. So why is nobody talking about Gilbert Gottfried? That's a good question. I've seen a lot of people talking about Gilbert Gottfried myself. I'm not talking about Gilbert Gottfried because I don't know him. I did not know him. I knew him as an actor. He was first interaction with Gilbert Gottfried that I had was, where did I first see Gilbert Gottfried? In what movie did I first see him in? I'm thinking of Bobcat Goldthwait in Revenge of the Nerds, but that was not Gilbert Gottfried. That was Bobcat Goldthwait. That was somebody else entirely. I don't know what was the first. I don't know if I can name a movie that I saw Gilbert Gottfried in, to be honest. I mean, I've seen his stand-up, I know he's in the Aflac commercials. But I can't think of any movies that I saw with Gilbert Gottfried. I don't know. That's a good question. And real quick, I'm going to turn on the Ad Twins ad, and I'm going to switch out my camera. No, I'll leave the camera on. We're fine. No, I'm going to switch it out because this is taking up. Yeah. Give me 2 quick seconds. I'll be right back.
Is your bar looking a little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
All right. I did not switch the camera because I realized if I switch the camera, I've got to do all kinds of other stuff too, and I didn't want to mess with that. But yeah, y'all got to see the Ad Twins more time, so congratulations. I can't think of a movie that Gilbert Gottfried was in. I remember a stand-up, but I guess I could Google it. Let's find out. What movies was Gilbert Gottfried in? Gilbert Gottfried movies. He was movies and TV shows. He was in. Oh, of course, he was in Aladdin. He was the parrot in Aladdin. Problem Child. Jesus Christ. The Aristocats. Don't remember the That's the Aristocrats with the dogs. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 2. I do not remember that. I remember the movie, obviously, Beverly Hills Cop 2. But of course, he was in Aladdin. He was the parrot. Fairly Odd Parents. I remember seeing him a few times in that, but I was not a Fairly Odd Parents watcher, so I don't remember much from that. Jack and the Beanstalk. He was in several roasts on Comedy Central. Of course, he was on Saturday Night Live several times. Who else? What else was he in? Hollywood Squares. Very frequently, the Center Square. He was in a bunch of shitty movies, is what he was in. Elf? Oh, Buddy's Musical. Yeah, no. Bunch of roasts on Comedy Central. Highway to Hell. The Burn with Jeff Ross. Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't see him. I mean, I knew of him, obviously, as an actor, but I did not know him. So, no, I'm not. What? Eaten one of the ad girls up in Austin? I do think, I am fairly certain that they live in Texas. Because they posted on their Instagram last February during the snowpocalypse, 2 days already without electricity, something, still snowing. So I do believe they live in Texas. Yes. Eaten one of the ad girls. How do you know which one though? They're twins. Heard a joke the other day. When I was younger, I dated a twin. I could always tell them apart because one of them had long blonde hair, the other one had a penis. Dun dun. And that made me laugh because I'm 13. Deep down inside, I am 13 years old. But I've been thinking about kicking around the idea of getting another Ad Twins ad done because now since that ad came out, I now have a new brand that's out and it's time to update that video with something else. Or I could do it myself. I don't know. But it's time. It's long past time to update that video. So we'll go ahead and begin the countdown sequence to shut down the show. Tonight we did trivia. Next week's trivia is going to be out of the distillery. We have combined forces with pub trivia. We will be doing trivia in the distillery, and possibly live on the air too. And I don't know how we're going to do it with prizes online versus prizes in person, because people in person get the hat tip over the people online, obviously. So Nick, you're local. You'll get the chance to come into the shop and do trivia. And then tomorrow night, of course, tomorrow night's the big night, because we have tomorrow night the Kimbros. There they are. Check them out. Kimbros playing tomorrow night at the distillery. They are going to be starting at 7 o'clock is when the music starts. Doors open at 6. We have food, crawfish for $10 a plate. We have, of course, the ticket to the show is $10. That gets you a cocktail and a that gets you a cocktail. That gets you a flight of samples, and maybe a tour later on if we have time to do the tour. I am happy to stand there and answer all the questions you have. I will be there until it's time to go home. I strongly recommend bringing a chair. Strongly recommend bringing some bug spray. We're going to have bug spray and we're going to have some chairs, but we may run out of both of those things. I can't promise we won't. We'll have our vendor there, who is the guy who painted the Be Someone signage across the railroad trellis, the most iconic art in the city of Houston. And, good eats. Boy. We'll talk about that tomorrow a little bit. If they're local enough, maybe I can get them to come and do they're in Austin, somewhere in Texas. I don't know where they're at right now, but if they're still in Austin, maybe I can get them to come down, and hell, maybe I can get them to stand at a barrel and sell our whiskey at a Total Wine or a Specs over there in Austin. That'd be worth the effort, I think. Anywho, I think it's probably a good time to wrap up the show. I'm the Old Humble guy. This has been Trivia Night, the Old Humble Distilling Company. We got 15 minutes. I don't know if I can fill another 15 fucking minutes of the show. Wednesday night, we'll do whiskey, where philosophy and science meets whiskey. I don't have a topic yet. We'll figure it out. I'm not sure if we're going to have a Tuesday night show. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a Monday night show. Thursday night next week, trivia from the distillery. Friday night next week, who is my musical act of Friday? At the distillery, we've got, I believe, Ryan. No, that's May. Who do we have in April? March? Who do we have tomorrow? Next week in April? After the Kimbros, we've got Don May next week, an artist that has never performed at the distillery. Come on out tomorrow, Nick. It'll be fun. It'll be a really fun party. It'll be a really good time. 19103 Continental Parkway, over there on 1960, in between Bellow Woods and Timber Forest. You will not be disappointed. It will be a good time to be had by all. But I am going to turn in for the night because I've got an early day at the distillery tomorrow, as well as does Lisa. And we've got a long damn day tomorrow because the Kimbros are going to be playing, and we're going to be wrapping up probably around 11 o'clock. So I'll be getting to the shop sometime between 8 and 9, probably close to 9. Who am I kidding? And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be awesome to each other. Think with your whole brain, love with your whole heart. Drink good whiskey. And talk to you next time. Cheers and good night. Bye.